Hello everybody, Tom Morley from FOSS 365, where we usually teach free open source software 365 days a year. But I bought a Feiyutech 2000 gimbal and I wanted to do a quick kind of tutorial on how to set up this Feiyutech 2000 to work with all the functions of the Sony A6300 or 6400. I could probably work with the 6000 series, the 6001, and maybe even the new 6600 camera. Because by default, you may think that this kit comes with a, let me show you, let me take it off. And by the way, I'm not going to show you how to balance this gimbal. It is so easy to do, and there are literally dozens of tutorials out there on how to balance this gimbal with your camera. So go check that out somewhere else on Facebook. I don't see any reason I'm redoing that. But I've got this one all balanced with my camera. But what you'll get is you'll get a an adapter for your camera. This is the adapter for the A6300. It's got like a headphone jack and a USB connection. So what you do is you'll just connect that to the bottom there, and it connects to the USB port here on the side. And you may think that this little connection will make it so that you're, hi Jasmine, how you doing? Dog came out to see what I was doing. You may think that this USB connection is all you need to do everything in the Sony A6300 camera, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. So I was a little disappointed. I thought I could only do a couple of things with this camera. What this will allow you to do is it'll allow you to use the gimbal to take pictures with the A6300, and really that's it. Other cameras you could control the movie button as well with just this adapter, but not the, I don't think any of the A6000 series, maybe the 6000. I'll have to look in the specs and see, but for my A6300 I can only use this adapter so that I can take a snapshot of a picture. And that was pretty disappointing, because this gimbal can do so much more. I really wanted to do all of the extra features with my A6300. So you can actually do that. I couldn't find any YouTube videos out there on how to connect this to the gimbal so that I could use all the functions in the camera. But this camera, the Sony A6300, allows you to connect to your smartphone through Wi-Fi. And what you're going to do is you're going to use that ability to connect to the Wi-Fi of the camera to the gimbal itself. The gimbal actually has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in it as well. So you're going to use that Wi-Fi connection to connect directly to the software in your camera to be able to control all kinds of things on the A6300. So I was really happy when I found that out, but there's no tutorials on it. So yeah, this will allow you to take pictures, and you can connect it, because you might want to use that to just snapshot a picture every now and then. But let's talk about how to get this connected to your gimbal through Wi-Fi so that you can use all of the features. So let me go get my phone. I'll be right back, and I'll show you how to set that up. Okay, I'm back. I've got my phone, and what you're going to want to do to use all the functions of the A6300 is download the Feiyutech app. I'll have links in the description, and load it up after you've got it installed, and it'll look like this. It's going to try and discover a device. You're going to want to make sure that your gimbal is on already, and it'll search for the device. It found my Feiyutech 2000, and it comes up with a menu that allows you to do some simple things, and you'll see that you can control it with a joystick using this button, and you'll see it moving around here in the picture. Let's stop that here. Reset it. There you go. So you can use the joystick without connecting to the A6300, but you'll want to be able to control the shutter, maybe change the ISO and the white balance and whatnot, and you can't do that with this little teeny cable. The only thing that's going to allow you to do is allow you to take pictures with it. So we're going to get rid of this cable, and we'll still be able to control our A6300. But how do we do that? Well, you do that by first logging in with your phone and downloading. The A6300 comes with a bunch of different apps that you can download from the web. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the web and download the remote control for your A6300. So I'm going to exit this application here because I'm already in it. And you'll see that here. You hit the menu and you go to your application section. I don't know if you can see that on there. I'll put a snapshot up in the corner here somewhere. And so go to the application section in the menus, press the button, go to your application list, and you want to download your smart remote control app. Okay, probably can't see it, I see it's all glare. So your smart remote control app, that's what you want. You're going to press the center of the display button in your A6300, and it's going to go into play memories, and it's going to say, okay, you want to connect, but what do you want to connect with? At first, you're going to have to connect with the Feiyutech app. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to have a couple of things open here, and that's the app. So what you're going to want to do is you'll see there's a connection here for your camera type. So go ahead and click on that, and then click on Sony in this case. Find your phone in the app, 6300. It's right there, 6300. You press the button, and it's going to ask you for the Wi-Fi connection. In this case, it's the very top one. You'll know it because you set it up in your camera. Mine is direct something and then my name, and it's going to ask you for the password. That password right there is available when you try and start your smart remote app. It'll have a way for you to connect to the smartphone, but you don't want to do that using your camera. That you can go in there and find the password for your Wi-Fi connection for the A6300. Put that in here, and when you do, you press the OK button. It's going to connect your gimbal, actually connect your gimbal to your phone, which is kind of cool because guess what happens at that stage? At that stage, the gimbal remembers the username and password to connect to your A6300, and you no longer need this app anymore. You can then control your A6300 just by turning on that Wi-Fi smart remote control app first, and then turning on your gimbal. It'll auto connect. You won't have to go through this process anymore. So what happens after you go through all those steps is you're going to see that your Wi-Fi connection here on your gimbal, your Wi-Fi icon is all lit up. So that'll allow you to not only control it with the joystick here, but it'll allow you to do some things like time lapse. And if you swipe that left and right, you can set up your time lapse settings using the rotation time for your pan and tilt, your interval that you want it to stop and take a picture. The dwell time is how long it might take to write those pictures to your SD card. So your pan and tilt time is how long you want it to go from one location to the ending location. The intervals are how many seconds you want to wait while it's panning across using your pan and tilt. So in this case, I've got a pan and a tilt of 1 minute. And every 5 seconds, that's my 5-second interval, every 5 seconds, it's going to pause and take a picture. And after it takes that picture, it's going to wait 4 seconds to make sure that it writes that, data to the SD card, and then it will move again. And this is all controlled through now. Once you set that up, it's all controlled through Wi-Fi to your A6300 through your smart remote app on your A6300. And what you can do at that point is you can start to do either movies or time lapse with this thing, which is kind of cool. So you'll go into the menus, the same menus, I guess, slide over, and you'll say, okay, I want to do an auto rotation. It'll ask you for the initial start point, and then it'll ask you for the end point. So I'm going to set it down here. I'm going to say, okay, maybe I want the start point to be in this direction up here. And you just manually, physically put it in the location you want it. And it's when it's set for the beginning point, you press the OK. You'll hear a little beep. Then it'll say, okay, where do you want this to end? And I want it to kind of do a pan down to there. Right there, that'll be my end point. And when you press OK, it's actually going to start taking your time-lapse pictures. So be ready. So I'm going to press OK. It's going to go to the beginning position. It's going to take a snapshot. It's going to take a minute to go from the beginning to the end. And every 5 seconds, it's going to wait, take a picture, wait 4 more seconds for it to write that picture to the SD card, and then keep on moving from the beginning to the end point. So you can do some really cool time lapses now. And I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to use this in video mode and do some other things, but now that you're connected to this A6300 through Wi-Fi, you don't even have a cord connected to this anymore. You can take full advantage of all the different features that the A2000 has. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I didn't see it anywhere else on the internet. Hopefully it helps out somebody. If it did help you, let me know in the comments. If you got one of these gimbals or you have the A6300 and you're doing video work, let me know in the comments. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.